Welcome, everybody, to the Optimum Ideation Podcast, where we hunt down the best of human ideation. And today's guest is Miss ItsCrystalSun, who is doing amazing things with frequencies, music, and helping to heal the vibration of the world with her work. Thank you, Crystal, for showing up.
Thank you so much, Tim, for having me here on your podcast. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure doing some networking with you. You've been very pleasant to deal with.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to get right into this.
Yeah. Well, the first question is usually the longest one. And so, what is your story, your resume, and how did you get to here?
I love that question. So this is something I love to talk about and share. So my life changed in a profound way when I actually discovered the incredible power of sound frequency and vibration. So back in 2008, I grew up in Providence, Rhode Island. So I left my hometown of Providence, Rhode Island, and I headed all the way west to California. And I had these aspirations of becoming a highly successful pop star. And as a recording artist, performer, singer, songwriter, music producer, model, and actress, I was actually fortunate enough to work in some of the most just high-end recording studios in Hollywood with some respected industry professionals. And while I was in California, I started meditating, and I soon began receiving messages about sound frequency and vibration during my morning sessions in the mountains. Out in California, I actually live by the mountains, so I would just wake up, and this was before I had, any real responsibilities. I have a daughter back then. Now I have a 4.5-year-old. So I would go out every morning, and I would just have these long meditative practices. And as I was receiving these messages about sound and frequency and vibration, I didn't really grasp, the significance at the time. But I was, of course, increasingly intrigued by these actual messages as my career progressed, and I began to feel that something was missing in my life. Something just felt off, it didn't feel right. So of course, I was very determined to uncover the meaning behind these messages, and I delved into research on the topic of sound, of frequency, and vibration. And I was really surprised to find that much of what I was receiving, the messages that I was receiving, was pretty accurate. And this led me to a much, much deeper understanding of sound frequency and its actual impact on our overall health and our well-being. And it was then that I realized the music I had been creating and the vibration I was emitting, it was not always in the best interest of myself or even of others. But at the time, I wasn't conscious of this. So I felt like I was armed, with this newfound knowledge. And I ultimately made a very difficult decision to leave my successful career in Hollywood behind. I had a conversation with my husband, and I'm just like, we have to figure this out. Like, I don't feel connected anymore. We both met in California, but we were both originally from the East Coast, so it was easy for us to relocate. We both have family out here. So we relocated and then, started our family. So I relocated back here to help raise awareness about the crucial role of sound frequency in human evolution. And today, my ultimate mission is to educate others about the immense importance of sound frequency and creating a healthier planet. I also create healing frequencies. I create binaural tones, and I work with mainstream artists to infuse their music with healing frequencies. So my qualifications, or as you could say, my resume, would include, a quarter century of experience in the music industry, extensive training in music theory and classical voice, over a decade of sound frequency research, professional presentation and speaking skills, and authorship of vocaltoning, the long lost ancient practice. Additionally, I'm a member of the Sound Healers Association, founder of ItsCrystalSun LLC, and creator and host of the Level Up Your Frequency podcast. So in a nutshell, it's all about me and what led me on this journey.
Wow. No, that's such a cool resume. I mean, that is so rare. I mean, what are the odds that I'm talking to someone that's just been, boom, this is your focus. I love it. I love everything about music and frequencies, and I realized this a long time ago that these different beats and 808 drums and things were just not really well for the
Oh yeah.
people that listen to them. And I got away from radio and
Mm,
television, and now I'm just kind of doing my own thing on the internet, but creating our own TV shows here with people like
yes.
yourself.
Yeah, it's a health. I feel like it's a healthier option. But now that I feel like people are becoming more aware, like right now, I'm working with other artists, like mainstream artists in the music industry, and educating them, like, hey, let's change the music industry. Let's start tuning our music to a healthy frequency, and
Yeah,
just changing the world, like one artist at a time. That's all we need. One artist at a time, and before you know it, it's just going to take over the whole industry, and all the music that we listen to will be healthy for us and for the planet.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a couple new age artists that just came out, like this Aniko. I don't know if you heard
Oh
of
yeah,
her.
yeah, I love her.
Yeah, I figured
Yeah,
that'd be like right up your alley. Maybe you could do something with
definitely.
her or something, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
So yeah, so what layers did you have to reveal to become who you are now?
That's a really deep question, Tim. I love it. Um, I feel like my layers are consistently being peeled away, right? And the layers that are consistently peeled away are the layers I feel like I was programmed with since birth.
Right.
Um, so every time I start to actually remove a program or a layer, I start to get more and more in touch with who I am at a core level. And I'm able to see deeper into myself as a soul, as we like to say, a soul experiencing life through this human form. I feel like the layers are the cycles I go through in life, and those cycles are literally never ending.
Yeah.
When I chose a path of self discovery and constantly just pushing myself past my own limitations, I realized that as long as I choose to participate in life, I choose to continuously participate in peeling back. Feel like the layers creates like the density within my body, and as I peel away those layers, it kind of lightens up the load a bit. And I came here as a consciousness to experience, to heal, to create. And as a creator, I feel like the next layer I would need to remove will be whatever is really called for or based on, the life I'm choosing to create in that particular moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, for example, the other week I had to attend a networking event and speak in front of quite a few people, and I could like feel the fear and anxiety in my body, but I'm like, that's not me. I'm not a
Yeah.
fearful person. What's going on? But I felt called to push through. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, why am I even putting myself in this situation? It's because that's who I am.
Yeah.
And it's really pushing through. And once I did, I felt like so relieved. I
Yeah.
felt excited. I felt like, oh my gosh, I just accomplished something. It's the most exhilarating feeling. And that was basically me peeling back a layer, facing my fears and seeing that most of these layers are just fear-based,
Yeah.
I like to say thought forms that kind of just hang around until we're ready to face them and just let them go and kind of like shine the light on them. So, in a sense, I feel like all of this is just an illusion.
Yeah. Yeah, my last guest, we were talking about, are we in a simulation? Are we in a video game right now? Is
Oh, yeah, I
somebody
feel like
playing
that all the
us?
time. Yeah, yeah.
But it's coming out in studies all over the place now. You got like 70, maybe even 80% of people they don't even have like an inner dialogue. Like I'm I don't even comprehend how that could even exist.
I know.
it's just odd to me. I have
Yeah.
no idea how that could even be a thing.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but you know, you got the 80-20 rule on damn near everything, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
So I don't know. But you know, what are the odds that you know, here we are. We've had technology like what we're on right now for a limited amount of time. And here we are, we're already creating augmented realities. We're already creating virtual realities. We've got video games. We're playing those video games. What are the odds?
I know, that's true. It's like, yeah. Um, it's a reflection of what is really going on. You know, it's kind of like it's starting to emerge or come out or surface or be revealed almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's so what are the odds? You know, humans have been around for thousands, I mean, maybe millions of years, but that this hasn't happened before.
Oh, yeah. You know.
So, yeah, so much of that, enough of that tangent. What trials and tribulations have you been through?
So from a very young age, I have to be honest, I didn't really grow up in a balanced and in a happy household. I didn't have like this perfect life. So I really suffered through a lot of emotional, but not only emotional, also physical trauma. And I felt threatened and very afraid as a child, not only in my home, but also in school. I was picked on, I was bullied, and I can talk about this now because I did a
Yeah,
lot of healing, so it doesn't bother me as much.
right.
But the schools I attended, they were really dangerous in terms of how violent the kids were there. So I would skip classes and I would cut school because I was afraid. And
Yeah,
I felt like I didn't fit in. Like no matter what I did as a child, I never felt like I fit in.
yeah,
And I had trouble focusing and learning. I was like all over the place, like kind of like in my own little world, super ADD, like just, yeah, it was really difficult for me.
yeah,
But once I decided to apply myself, I was able to, I guess, pass with flying colors. It was really easy for me. But it took me a while to really embrace my inner genius. It's almost like I was in denial. Like I would tell myself, you know, you're not capable of this, you're not capable of that. So it took me a while to really own that. And this inner genius was just waiting to emerge. And once it did, I felt, you know, just alive. And so because of how I grew up, I lacked, you know, the experiences and opportunities to feed what I was really good at and the experiences I wish I could have had. So I got caught up in the wrong crowds and, you know, I didn't have the support or the encouragement that I needed to really push myself at that time.
yeah. Yeah, wow. I can relate. I got mixed up in the wrong crowds too, and started, you know, at a young age going the wrong route for a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I felt like I was always a good kid, always trying to do the best by everyone. But
Hmm.
it's almost like the program just wants to take you down the negative road.
Right. It's
And
all about the experiences. Yep.
yeah, and you know, but you 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 got to find fun in the mundane.
Yes.
If you can find fun in the mundane, you know, maybe you're not for everybody, but you have peace, and that peace
Exactly.
brings happiness.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's
Yeah,
what I feel too. Yeah, the peace definitely brings your own level of happiness because it's really all about what you connect with at a core level.
yeah, yeah. I've you know, in doing business, people think it's all like this glitz and glamour thing, right?
Mhm.
But in reality, like it's a lot of mundane ass shit,
Oh
and
yeah,
you're gonna be
it's very
there.
boring. It's very
You editing video,
yeah,
creating this marketing thing, doing all the strategic stuff that nobody else wants to do, you
yes.
know.
It's
Uh,
part of the process.
yeah,
But you learn to like it or at least you learn to get through it.
yeah, yeah. You'd be like, I I should be on the phone, like I should be doing these. No, you just gotta do this mundane thing over here and
Yes.
get that done first. And
Yes. Yes. Totally.
What when did you become passionate about this focus? Was it on the mountaintop or
Yeah,
yeah?
definitely. I started becoming the most passionate in California. Yeah, when I had that whole awakening or experience. I mean, I was very passionate in California about, I was always passionate about music. I mean, I love music, I love sound. Um, and I've always had this thing inside of me where it's like, you're just meant to do something more. And I didn't really know what that more was. I was always like trying to look for it, to like search for it. But that passion truly was ignited when I started to really uncover and discover and realize what it was actually tied to.
Yeah. Yeah, I always had this feeling like you're supposed to be doing something more. And it's like I'd never had like resources. So I was always like gathering resources. Like
Yes.
I know I have to do something. I'm not sure what this is yet. I don't
Yes.
think I still know what it is, but
We're all just kind of, you know, finding our way through life. Yeah. I
but
don't know
I
where
make a
I'll be
lot of people
tomorrow or
happy.
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People message me all the time, like, thank you, like you knocked off a layer off me, like stuff like
Yeah.
this. And it's like, okay, well, I guess, I think I'm on the right path here, maybe.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Um,
Definitely.
so who were the greatest contributors to your character?
That's a really good question. And since um I'm probably going to have a really crazy answer for that. So, I'm
Yeah,
a big fan of ancient mythology. And
awesome. Me too.
I feel like as a way to always ground myself, I was always kind of like, ooh, up here. But that helps to kind of keep me grounded.
Yeah.
And as a way to really tap into my alter ego and connect with that fire, I always picture myself as like this goddess, and really embodying that true energy, that true raw power, that divine feminine energy. And I'm also a big fan of Leonardo da Vinci, of Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
And I also consider myself a Renaissance woman. I like to dabble in a
Yeah.
little bit of everything, really. So I love business, I love music, I love the arts. Like you name it, I probably have tried it or I'm doing it now. So I'm not closed off. I'm pretty open minded when it comes to just learning a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I've spent many of long nights, sleepless nights looking up ancient technologies and things all
Yes.
over the world. So
Mhm.
very well versed in a lot of different things.
Awesome.
When you first started in your journey, what is something that was more challenging than you had expected?
Definitely finding my footing, and I feel like it's still a thing where like you're always going through this cycle of something changes, something new emerges, and you're constantly just like, okay, I took a step forward, now I have to take another step forward, and it's like sometimes you may trip a few times or sometimes you may take a step back. But I feel like the most challenging aspect to it all, or like when I actually discovered my path, was finding my footing and paving my own path, and then also shedding light on something that's rarely talked about. Because most of the time I talk about this, and it's like most people are just like, "What? I don't understand." So it's a little challenging, being a pioneer in this field and
Yes.
having others like fully see the vision, because
Right.
it's a new vision.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been fully presented in this world, and it's a challenge, but it's something that I really really do enjoy. So I think part of this is me enjoying that challenge and me enjoying just being a leader, when it comes to spreading this sound frequency awareness.
Yeah. And you said something there. It's like you have to do it. It's not like someone else is going to just grab this thing and go do it for you. You
Right.
have to do the thing. If you have
Yes.
this dream, this vision, you have to do it. And you can't have other people be relying on someone else, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I was just talking about this with my
Yeah.
husband earlier. It's just like, are we leaders or are we followers? It's like either you're being led or you're leading. and I'm totally a leader. Like I have to do this. But I find like sometimes I'll like kind of sit back, and it's like if nothing's happening, I'll just kind of like, follow along, or like see what other people are doing and maybe copy them and see if it works for me. It never works.
Yeah,
Never.
exactly.
I've been doing this for years. It doesn't work. Like just be your own leader.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, I like that. So who are you at your lowest and who are you at your best?
Great questions. So I've been through a lot in life, and I feel like I shifted through life, especially in my early 20s. In my early 20s, my childhood memories, and this is when I like moved off, like away from home, and I had my own place, so I was like by myself a lot. And during that time, my childhood memories and my traumas would come up and haunt me. So I would have like really violent dreams.
Yeah.
And there was a point in my life where I considered, taking my own life. I suffered through really bad depression, anxiety. I had a lot of anger. I was just always so angry. There was a lot of anger and rage inside that needed healing. But through all of that, I was able to heal. I was able to face it. I was able to work through it. And when I'm at my best, I truly feel like I can do anything. I can be anyone I want to be. Yeah. And because of everything that I've went through, I'm like, nothing can hold me down. Nothing can stop me. Absolutely nothing. When I think back about my story, everything that I've been through, it led me to where I am today. It turned me into who I am today. So I feel like I'm literally on top of the world. Like no one can hold me back. And when I'm in that space, I feel so much love. I feel so much joy. I'm excited to wake up in the morning, just to start my day and create new experiences. It's like the world feels like a playground, like here's a seesaw, I want to get on, like you just want to play all day. So yeah, that's how I feel.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I had kind of a similar story to you, I guess, and been through some shit. And when you go through that and you finally find the forgiveness, then you can heal and get over it. And I wish that everybody could find it. I wish that everybody could find that peace and the gratitude for this life that we have. But I feel like it's just a lot of people are not they're not willing to face that, and they're not willing to forgive, and they're not willing to move forward for themselves.
I see that a lot. Like it's almost like, and I've been through it, it's almost like you're paralyzed.
Yeah.
Like you want to move forward, but you can't find the strength, or you're just not ready to. But if you are someone out there who's listening to this and you're suffering, just know that your time will come. Like you'll find a point where it's just like you're ready to move forward, and you just got to keep pushing. You just got to keep moving forward, and things do become easier. It becomes easier as you, like you said, Tim, as you allow that forgiveness to come in, the frequency of forgiveness, and also the frequency of appreciation, of gratitude for what you currently have, for what's in front of you. That makes a world of a difference.
What is your best piece of advice for an audience that truly wants to better themselves or others in this life?
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I think starting within. So, starting small. I find like it's those small incremental steps that will make the biggest difference in your life. And as a result, it will also make a difference in the life of others. So it's really about healing yourself first. And as a result, that energy will kind of like infect others or make others feel better as well. So I can honestly look back now and not remember what it felt like to be the 22-year-old version of myself.
Right.
She's completely gone.
Right.
And I constantly feel like I'm going through like this death and rebirth within this one life. So, it may not seem like you're moving anywhere right now, But I can guarantee you that if you stay on this path and stay committed to becoming better, that you will see the results. It's all about consistency.
Oh my. Yeah. Have you had any near-death experiences?
I had one experience that felt like a near-death experience. It was just strange. I can't tell if it was like me dreaming or if it was near death, because I do have a lot of things happen to me during dream time where like I'll have like these psychic dreams, or like I'll start traveling and I have out-of-body experiences. But I did have this one dream or near-death experience, whatever you want to call it. I was consciousness. It was the strangest thing. Like I literally felt myself being sucked out of my body. And it's almost like I was the sun. And I know that sounds funny because of my name, Crystal Sun, but I felt
Yeah.
like I was the sun. And I was everything but nothing all at the same time. I still had this consciousness where like I was aware and I had memories of my life currently, but it's hard to explain
Yeah.
consciousness,
Yeah.
without uh so sorry if this isn't making sense. Um but I at the same time I felt at peace. Like I didn't feel like I was connected to any particular emotion, but at the same time I felt extremely bored, which is strange because you would think that's like an emotion. But as I was going through that, I I don't want to say I felt, I just wanted to experience life in a human body. So I was just kind of like waiting around, like I was in limbo,
Yeah.
just like waiting there to get my chance again to be back on this planet, back on Earth or wherever, and be back in a body to be able to experience life. When I became conscious again, I felt like my soul just got back into my body, and it just like I kind of popped up. When I came back, I was just like, whoa, I'm so grateful
Yeah.
for this life, to be able to experience emotions, to be able to experience just eating food, just being able to see, being able to cry, being able to laugh. Like we take all of these things for granted. And
Yeah.
I would prefer that to just kind of being a light form, just kind of waiting around, like,
Yeah.
we have it made here. Like it's amazing just being a human and experiences we get to go through here.
Yeah. I love hearing the gratefulness in your voice because everybody's going through so much stuff, and you talk to so many people in a day, and it's just great to talk to other people that have gratitude and appreciation for this experience that we are
Yes,
all in together.
absolutely.
Now, what practices or techniques throughout your day or your week make it a success?
So I have two calendars. I have a war map and I have a wellness map. So I like to do time management mixed with self-care. So I know that sounds a little crazy, a little confusing, but my war map is all about business. So I map out my business for the entire month. My whole schedule is mapped out, exactly what I need to do to get all of my tasks accomplished. But with these time management skills, I'm able to plan everything out, and it takes off a lot of like the stress, right,
Yeah.
off of my plate. So it's like, okay, I plan everything out. Then I have a wellness map, because I realized that recently having the war map and having all business stuff is good. But when am I taking care of myself?
Yeah.
So I have a separate calendar that's all about, okay, so for example, Thursdays, you're going to take a little bit longer to meditate, or you're going to get a massage, or you're going to soak, or go to the sauna, or do something that you're just giving to yourself. Because as a busy mom, where it's like I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I also have to take care of my household, so there's many tasks that I need to get done throughout the day. So being able to approach my day from a standpoint of like, okay, let me pull up my calendars, see what I have to get done, do it with a clear mind. I feel almost like I don't know, before I would have so much anxiety. I feel like I'm
Right.
able to get so much more accomplished that
Yeah.
way. So that's what I do, and that's what helps me get through my day.
And listening to different music, right?
Oh, yeah, you can't forget that. Every day, I have a morning practice, sorry. So I listen to binaural tones in the morning, and then I work out. And then right after that, my daughter's up. So it's like, okay, she's up, get her ready, get her breakfast. And then she's off to school. And then I go back, I start, doing some work tasks, and then maybe some more wellness. Like it's like, okay, let me take a little break, let me take a walk. And so that I'm able to live my days a little bit more balanced versus before I would just like wake up and it's total chaos and it's like, oh no, I didn't get to meditate today. I feel so off. Oh my gosh, my daughter's going to be late for school. I can't operate that way. Yeah.
Now, let's say if you ever write another book, what would it be about?
I feel like I would do an autobiography. Just because recently I actually had a friend, she knows a lot about my story, a lot about like, what I went through. And she suggested, she's like, if you wrote a book about yourself, I would read it. And I think a lot of other people would read it. And I feel like for me, that resonated with me, just because I feel like it would be a healing process for me. And I also feel like it would help others, just help others to relate to me and maybe get through some of the things that they're trying to get through in life as well.
Perfect. Now, we're kind of wrapping up here. Do you have a networking event, a book, a product, service, anything that you'd like to discuss and share with the audience?
Yes. So on my website, on ItsCrystalSun.com, I have a few products. I have my binauraltones healing system, and I also have a solfeggio frequencies album. So both are extremely well to help to tune up the human body, because one thing that I've found is the number one thing that gets in our way is our mind. So when we can really tune up our body and also sync our brain waves to be in the right frequency, we can start to uncover different aspects of ourselves. But not only that, we're able to really experience better health, improved sleep, also just being more in alignment with our life goal and our mission as well here on the planet. So I have everything there on my website, and I'm also doing some events behind the scenes, which will also be featured there as well.
Very cool. And I downloaded the 639 from your site, and it was great. It was
awesome.
Yeah,
yes,
it was a good time for sure. I played it on repeat a couple times.
Oh, that's great. Yes, anyone listening, I have a 639 hertz miracle frequency out. So please feel free to download. It helps to really tune up the body, heal and repair DNA, and it also helps with relationships and love as well.
And did you talk about your podcast?
Yes, and I have my Level Up Your Frequency podcast, where we discuss anything that has to do with frequency, vibration, and we basically tie this into sound frequency technology. So I bring on special guests onto the show to discuss sound frequency, vibration, and anything and everything that you need to know about the power of sound.
Very good. Now, one last question. People get to where they want to go in life because they know where they want to go. And where do you ultimately want to go?
Where do I ultimately want to go? That's a really, really good question. Ultimately, I don't think I want to go anywhere outside of myself. I want to go deeper inside to the point where I can find true fulfillment by just being. Like literally by just sitting here, I'm at peace. That's my ultimate goal.
That's fantastic. That's kind of like my goals.
Awesome.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you, Crystal, and I can't wait to share this with everyone. And I think it'll be a great show and full of great info for everyone. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tim, for having me. Thank you.
Ma'am. Bye.
Bye-bye.
third-party people production.